Yo, what's good YouTube, man? It's Gabriel, just on Fan TV. Back at another video. Like the content of this video, go smash that like button. Like the content of this channel, go ahead and subscribe, man. Look, so the Ravens off season is underway. You know, NFL season still has one more game left, but the Ravens are in the off season, right? Because we know what happened on Sunday, unfortunately. All right, so the first major news of the off season for the Ravens is the fact that Mike McDonald, young superstar defensive coordinator, will now be a young superstar head coach of the Seattle Seahawks, right? So that news came out a couple hours ago. Now I'm just gonna get my thoughts and opinions on it, and we're gonna go from there, all right? So, any Seahawks fans that happen to find this video, right? First of all, if you got like I said, a young defensive coach, you know, I think it was on NFL Network, they were calling him the Sean McVay of defense. That's how he's kind of been dubbed in the, inside of his meetings and everything like that. So, put that aside. Yes, he's a young, great defensive mind, right? He's the kind of guy where when you get a lot of hype like this, usually guys that's on the opposite side of the ball. It's kind of rare you see a young defensive coordinator get the kind of hype that Mike McDonald has, right? I will say this. He's worth the hype, right? He helped transform, a Ravens defense that before he came here was okay, right? He helped make them better. Now, do the Ravens have good players in place? Of course they do, right? But the scheme helped out tremendously, all right? I will say this about McDonald, right? His first year here, he started off slow. But he made adjustments, right? And I would say that's the biggest thing about him. He's an adjuster, right? If he sees something that isn't working, he will make the adjustments to fix it, all right? Also, game plan is really good. The skies in coverages, simulating pressures, all that kind of things. It's really good. You got a young, exciting head coach, right? And for the Seahawks, who organization that, years ago were known for defense, which, Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas, all those guys on and on. Has fallen off a little bit, right? So McDonald can be a guy to get that defense back on track. You guys already have pieces on offense, JSN, Lockett, DK. I like Geno Smith at quarterback. I don't know how Seahawks fans feel about it, but I like Geno Smith at quarterback. And then, Kenneth Walker in the backfield, the O-line would get healthy. And the Seahawks could be a completely different team if they get the right pieces on defense to really bring out that system that he's going to bring, right? Now, Ravens fans, okay? So, to me, this is a big loss, right? The Ravens lost, to me, which is the best coach in the building, right? That's John Harbaugh included, all right? I'm making that clear, all right? I was all for the plan of, now this was a fairy tale, never going to happen, but I would like to see it happen, right? Joe Ortiz just went to become the general manager of the LA Chargers, right? So, for me, I would love to see John Harbaugh bump into the front office, McDonald become the head coach of the Ravens, and, you roll the train from there, right? Now, that was never going to happen. John Harbaugh looked like this. He doesn't have any plans or intentions of retiring. So that was never going to happen, right? So, that was always a pipe dream. I know that's been kind of floated around from not just me, but multiple Ravens fans, right? But that was never going to happen, all right? John Harbaugh, he's going to coach as long as he wants, right? I mean, honestly, if what happened in 2018 and Lamar Jackson saving his rear behind at the end of that season, going 6-1, going to the playoffs. If that doesn't happen, John Harbaugh is probably the coach of the Ravens right now. But that happened, and he's still here. He will still be here, right? So I'm not here to complain about John Harbaugh. Obviously, he's won a lot of games, things like that. But sometimes it's time to move on, right? Have you hit a ceiling? It's kind of thing where you say, like, have you hit a ceiling? Do you need somebody to push you over the top, right? I think a lot about basketball reference, right? When you have, say, like the Warriors before they got Steve Kerr, right? They had the talent in place, but did they have the right coach to get it to maximize it, right? I think Mark Jackson did a great job of getting to that point. Steve Kerr helped them go over to the top, right? Now, that's the kind of maybe where the Ravens are at right now, but we won't know because John Harbaugh still won't be here. Now, as far as McDonald goes, right? Like I said, I truly believe he was the best coach in the building, offense, defense, head coach, whatever y'all you want to say it. He was the best coach in the building. The Ravens it was really an inspired hire bringing him back, right? Because I think a lot of people were like, he's only a DC one year at Michigan. You guys are going to give him the keys to the defense here. It started off shaky, but the last year and a half, because the end of the previous year and all of this season, the defense that he has called, defense that he has put in place has been nothing short of dominant, right? So I think it is a major loss, right? The Ravens have had good defensive coordinators in the past. They even had a great one in Rex Ryan, right, who went on to become a head coach, right? But after that, they kind of went through a lull of defensive coordinators, right? Nobody was really an inspired hire, right? McDonald was the first guy that was like, okay, we got something here on defense, man. This Ravens defense was very, very different from, I think, Ravens defenses of the past. Let's just say post Ray Lewis, post Ed Reed, right? Let's just say that, right? I think post Ray Lewis, post Ed Reed, these defenses have been too blitz happy, right? Now, Wink Martindale was a good DC for a couple years, but he was very, very one dimensional, right? So too blitz happy, excuse me, too predictable, right? And a lot of times they did not tackle well, right? That was a major, major problem for me with this Ravens defense post Ray Lewis, all right? When McDonald came, all of that kind of changed. The Ravens were the exact opposite of predictable. They were the exact opposite of blitz happy. And this year, the Ravens tackled amazingly this year, right? I could maybe only one game where I think it was the Cleveland game at home. Deshaun Watson broke some tackles. David Njoku broke some tackles. But besides that, right, the Ravens tackling was off the charts this year, right? So I'm not going to say Mike McDonald made them tackle better, but I think it was a point of emphasis for his defense, right? I'm just going to put it like that, all right? But things that we can say he did, right? Disguising coverages, a lot of too high looks, a lot of things where the offense didn't know exactly what was going on, right? The Ravens didn't blitz a lot, but the Ravens got a lot of sacks, right? How does that happen? Simulated pressures, right? You think maybe 6 people are coming, there's only 4, or you know it's 4 people are coming, but you don't know which 4 are coming, right? These are a lot of things that Mike McDonald put in place that, as a Ravens fan, we weren't used to seeing, right? Ravens fans, we were used to, it was third down, say it was 3rd and 4 or shorter. Wink Martindale's putting everybody at the line of scrimmage. We playing man coverage behind that. We getting after you. And a lot of times it did work, right? But like I said, too one-dimensional, too predictable, right? So it's a major blow. It's a major loss for the Ravens to lose Mike McDonald as the DC. Will they hire somebody who's probably a good DC? Will they move on and probably still have a good defense next year? I expect those things to happen, yes, of course, right? But the drop-off between great and good is massive, right? So if the Ravens don't get the DC hire right, or the DC isn't the right guy for the job, we could see a major downfall for this team, right? Just being a good defense is fine, right? The Ravens this year were really an all-time defense, right? So you go from potentially all-time defense to just a good defense that's going to put more pressure on the offensive side of the ball, right? To score more points, okay? And the Ravens have a good offense, right? So I'm not saying like they can't do it, but to win championships, you would like to be elite on both sides of the ball. I mean, the team that the Ravens lost to in the AFC Championship game, I would say, is elite on both sides of the ball because of Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid as the play caller. Then on the defense, Spags is doing his thing with, the guys Justin Reid, McDuffie, Chris Jones, right? They're elite on both sides of the ball. The 49ers, other team in the Super Bowl, they're elite on both sides of the ball, right? So if the Ravens the Ravens have lost Mike McDonald, right? Do they go from a good team on that side, a great elite team on that side of the ball, to just a good team? And like I said, the drop off between that is massive, right? That really can't be understated. That's not a small thing to drop back from great to good, okay? So once I guess Ben Johnson returned as the Lions OC, once Bobby Slowick returned as the Texans OC, right? And you just saw like these 2 jobs out there flashing, the Washington job and the Seahawks job. It kind of became clear that Mike McDonald was going to be, obviously very much a candidate for both of those jobs, but probably taking one of those jobs. So I can't say I'm disappointed because, this is what you coach for, right? You coach for the opportunity to lead your own team, to be your own man, and, see if you could take that team, Seattle, back to the promised land, right? Can Mike McDonald achieve that, right? So I obviously understand why he did it. Fully support him in his decision, upgrade your career. I get it. And you're going to a great organization with the Seahawks, right? Seahawks aren't really known for any BS in terms of how they're run structurally, right? So, he went to a good organization, right? It wasn't I wouldn't say it was a risky job to take, you know what I mean? So that's good for him as well, right? But For the Ravens, it's a loss. It's a major blow. That's the only reason. That's the only way that you could really describe it. The only way you could really put it, right? You can't sugarcoat it other than that. So where the Ravens go from here will be massive. Obviously for next year, that's an understatement. So they have to get the DC hire right. And we'll see what they do, man. But that's my thoughts on it, man. Give me your thoughts in the comments. It's Gabriel, Fan TV. I'm out.